Hi, in this video I am going to quickly explain how to set up the surround panner's output choosers and your track output choosers so that signal routing is handled exclusively by the surround panner and not by the track routing in your live set, so to say. So this is not going to be a comprehensive video about all of the surround panner's features. This is just to show how to make sure that you are controlling what relative volume goes to each speaker via the surround panner device rather than from elsewhere. So here's the caveat. I've loaded the surround panner on my onto my track, and I have a synthesizer here emitting a pretty simple signal. And I can see I've chosen the preset 4 room, right, which is a 4-speaker preset. I've chosen it because it's the simplest it's the preset with the least speakers, and we want the simplest case. Okay, and so I have 2 stereo signals. That's how this stuff is set up. The first stereo signal is for speakers 1 and 2, and the second stereo signal is for speakers 3 and 4. And as I mouse around, I can see on the meters that the relative amplitude of the signals in the surround panner's mixer changes, but nothing changes in my actual speakers. So you can't hear any panning. The reason why that is that the surround panner, first, there's 2 reasons. The surround panner has not been set up. The surround panner's routing settings haven't been set to use the physical outputs on your audio interface, or on mine, as it were. And the audio from the track is still going to the master track in my live set, right here, which is sending its signal out to physical outputs 1 and 2 on my audio interface. I happen to be using an audio interface with just a single stereo out, so all I see is 1 and 2, but you're gonna have more. But the point here to understand is that right now the surround panner is doing nothing. You can see first of all, you can see on the small meter right here, this meter doesn't belong to the surround panner, it belongs to the device chain of the track. And you can see that the signal just goes through the surround panner, it exits it, and then it gets sent to the master track. And indeed, you can see the signal on the master track, and on the master track I can pan it around. But that's just stereo, I want surround. So what I need to do is, first of all, I need to prevent the signal from being sent to the master track at all. And this is done by selecting sends only from the audio 2 chooser of the track. So what this is going to do in effect is no signal is going to go to the master track. Now I'm playing my clip and I see the signal, but I see the signal on the track, I don't see the signal on the master, and I don't hear the signal in my speakers, and that's exactly what I want. The reason why it's called sends only is that if I had a return track in my set, like now, then I could turn up the send on my sends only track, and the signal would still be sent to the return, and the return sends it onto the master then, of course, in this case. But since I'm not actually interested in using the sends, and I don't have a return in my track, so all I got is now the signal going to all of the devices in my track, but not going to the master track. That's what I want. Okay, so now I just need to set up the physical outputs on the surround panner. So if I now select external out here and select 1, 2, I can pan the signal around. Now, I wish I could show how it works with more than 2 outputs, but I don't have more than 2 outputs configured right now, so I'm stuck with 1, 2. So if I choose 1, 2 on speakers 3 and 4 as well, then, well, at least you can hear that, I can still pan around if I mouse between 3 and 4. Okay. So this is how it works. That's the 2 things you need to do, is set up the routing choosers on the surround panner and set up the routing chooser on the track for audio to not be sent to the master track and to be sent to sends only. Okay, and so that's the explanation. I hope you have fun. This video is in English, so I can reuse it if the need arises at a later point.